We have Akie Kawagoe. She is the Associate Professor, Faculty of Business Administration, Bunko Gogen University, Japan. She's going to speak about the developing craft industry at capital Tokyo in pre-modern ages. A look at select craft today.
This is Akie Kawagoe, Bunko Gogen University from Tokyo in Japan. First of all, thanks to the foundation, I'm honored to be invited so much. This memorial occasion, 20 years anniversary or reunion kind of things. I'm first time to join this seminar, but I was very honored to be here. So I'm researching on my introduction. I'm researching on the history of a craft industry. So comparing the producing area in Japan and the comparison of a similar technique with the other countries. Besides the research, I'm using historical analysis for real business, like all technique into the new productions. I organized collaboration of a designer and craft people. I was awarded Good Design Award 2013. Before I teach university, actually, I was a curator of a museum, which is a Metropolitan Museum of Art, Tokyo. So I have been an examiner of a craft competition, the contemporary and traditional both. And I'm on a committee and traditional craft designation committee in Chiba Prefecture. Today, I'm talking about the developing craft industry at the capital Tokyo in pre-modern ages. Historical analyzing the shaping of craft industry and developing producing area after Tokyo has become capital city of Japan in pre-modern ages. Last part of this paper will also represent a big phenomenon of a cotton fabric imported from India around the 19th century. And project coordinator requests me a topic about a ceramic artist in Japan for recent 20 to 25 years, the changing into the market, the product, and the number of artists, because of some of the participants of this seminar are interested in the pottery. So the coordinator strongly recommends to tell about these things. I'll do my best and tell you what's going on in Japanese pottery update. These pictures are 41 industry of a traditional craft, one of them, several of them, that are designated by Tokyo Metropolitan Government. On this slide, it might be unfamiliar craft. On the left hand, two musical instruments there. The upper picture is a koto musical instrument, 13 strings, flat instrument with a sound box using put on the floor. The plucked strings instrument in Japan. The lower picture is a shamisen 3 strings guitar. The middle of the slide is a paper lantern. The right hand upper picture is a racket using game like a badminton with a decoration. The lower picture is a doll, the closed doll made by wood. This is a man, and he is a strong man in legend. The next page will be, the next slide please, yes. The familiar craft, I think. The gold, the silversmiths, and the textiles, and the glasses, and the stitch sewing, and blacksmiths and jewelers. So, first of all, the overview of history of craft industry. The craft industry developed in only 1 or 2 big cities in Japan because of their demand from the huge number of citizens around 1700. Population of craft people increased. craft industry has developed in several cities. They are two reasons mainly. Number one, improvement in living standards caused a lot of consumption, lot of demands. Number two, a lot of province had encouraged local craft industry. Next, please. Thank you. In 1603, Tokyo, this used to be called Edo in the old time, become capital. The building and the castle and the residence of the government officers and the large-scale construction had begun. Food, the clothing, and the living, all things must be prepared. The craftsmen are gathered from the other big castle town which functioned already. They inhabited craft people's area in downtown near castle. The end of 19th century to early 18th century, population of Edo became 1 million. In the same time in London, the population was half of Edo. So many craft produced. The craft people settled down in Edo from the other cities, made their works following a local style that they came from, gradually changing into the Edo style products, which people lived in the Edo likes. Edo is a late start craft area, but very unique development. So what is the Edo style? I think there are 4 points. First of all, simple and sophisticated, using excellent technique, but design is not too much decorative, also very simple. The second is minimalism. The picture on the left hand, fishing rod made by bamboo. It is jointed, each pieces are going to be very short and put in a small bag when you go to the fishing. The picture on the right hand, the cute bonsai potter plant. The delight of a bonsai, how they compress the beauty of great nature into the minimal spaces. That was the idea of art in the place of high population density like Edo. The third, the plentiful sense of colors. It was recognized 48 colors variation on brown color. The gray color have 100 variations. We call it 48 browns, 100 grays. Especially Edo people likes dark colors. Number 4, keeping good quality but save time. If craft people makes carefully and slowly, the product will be excellent but expensive. So, as a business, they should try to keep excellency but quick and less expensive. Edo, a big consumption area. They are needed to business sense and high quality of products. It would be advantage to the other areas. Craft today in Japan. Nowadays, Kyoto is the western part of Japan, and Kanazawa, the middle part of Japan, are most active in craft field. Both cities are good at conservation of national treasure and technological restoration of craft. On the other hand, craft people in Tokyo are good at making contemporary products, suits for urban lifestyles using traditional skills. The craft people always think about craft as business because they want to preserve traditional techniques. Next would be the political topics in Japan right now. The policy of preserve craft skills or promote craft business by 3 ministries in Japan. The first one is traditional craft products, and the second one is living national treasure. Easy to image the craft and craft people today. Next, please. Next, please. Thank you. The traditional craft products designated by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. They have defined the idea of traditional craft products as on the slide, like this. And living national treasure is designated by agency for cultural affairs. The point is, designating people or groups who have advanced technique. Now, 48 people and 14 groups, total 72 designation in Japan. Same kind of designation would be important intangible folk cultural property. This would be on a folk culture field, not fine art. And also, one more same kind of designation would be intangible cultural property that need major like makes liquors. It's real long, the name. Because of their importance of understanding the transition of craft skills needs to be documented. And one more thing, the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare awards skilled workers with the highest level of skills in various fields for improving respect for trade skills. The purpose is to make a feeling of skills respect permeated in order to improve the status of the skilled worker and the skilled standard for the young people to become a skilled worker with pride and hope. Over 5,000 of outstandingly skilled workers have been awarded since first awarding in 1967. 100 to 150 prize winners have been awarded 1 year. The differences of these ideas. The traditional craft products, it is designation for producing area. It seems craft people and area makes products, not only one artist makes. The idea of living national treasure at artist with a trained skill is important. ACA has concerned about keeping excellent skills, but never interested in sale of artworks using excellent skills so much. In addition, request topic about the pottery. All over Japan, traditional pottery area designated by the Ministry of Economy are 30 places, and 11 potters are designated as a living national treasure in Japan. How about Tokyo? Historically saying, there is no ceramic industry because of the soil is volcanic ash. It is not good for the porcelain. Some craft people used to make a porcelain with a vernacular soil, but it was a very breakable and low quality, never shaping producing area of porcelain. From the middle of the 19th century, the porcelain clay was brought from the pottery area. After that, many potters could make their works in Tokyo. Those used to be two types of creators: the contemporary artist making artworks and craft people making products like dishes and flower vases. An artist in a fine art group makes huge size of artworks would display on the entrance of rich hotels. Recent 20 to 25 years, type was changing. For example, the living national treasure makes artworks and produce a product both. The pictures are the works by a living national treasure, Rokubei Kiyomi's The Ace. For industry, the market of products was very shrink because of become small. Big artworks above done by him. Some dishes has made by his studio employees. He is the director of the studio. And the last part of my paper about the relation with India and Japan. The Santomejima cotton fabric imported from India, which is very popular in Edo. Are there Mylapore or St. Thomas area in Chennai, right? In Japan, there were a cotton fabric imported from India that called Santomejima in Japanese. The fabric named after St. Thomas city, Santome, St. Thomas, come from St. Thomas, the name. The first appearance on the historical document was 1640 at the Dutch trading post in the southern island of Japan. Dutch merchant gave Indian cotton fabric as a bribe to government officials. It seems that fabric was very valuable because government officials hoped that fabric as bribe. In that time, Portugal and Dutch competed imported trade in Japan. A movement of Portuguese conclusion had gone out in Japan in order to accident with the Portuguese. But Japanese government had worry about imported silk fabric in decrease. The rival exclusion was convenient for Dutch, but they did not have any other demands of silk fabric. So they prepared Santomejima as a silk fabric replacement. Japanese cotton fabric was thick and heavy and shaggy materials since then. Indian cotton is smooth, shiny, and lightweight. All was supplied at a fine quality in that time. At first, upper-class government officials' family used. After 19th century, ordinary people can buy it. After imports, Japanese tried to make a copy of that. Around 1930s, it has been very popular and had made a lot. But it could not deal with mechanization, lost competition. Around the 1930s, demands had reduced. Today, only one place keep making fabric in traditional way. The producing area on the map, the red star on the map is producing city of a fabric that has been affected in India. The white star is the central Tokyo. It's very close to central Tokyo, the producing area and the Tokyo. Then this is a student in our university. They try to help them that area to keep producing fabric as a local industry. They're making new fashion item with this fabric made by traditional way. Thank you for listening.
I just didn't quite understand. Is this fabrics from India or is it made in Japan?
Copy.
Oh, it's being copied in Japan.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay.
The producing in Japan with a high quality actually. The Santomejima? Yes. Like St. Thomas? Santome? Santome? Jima? Jima means stripes. So Santome stripes. Santome, S-A-N-T-O-M-E? Jima, yeah. Jima. Yeah. Recently it called Tozan, yes. Tozan means the stripes fabric come from the overseas. Tozan, yeah.
Yes, but it's made as a sort of as a boutique item. But yes, indigo is still made here in some places. No, it's not made in San Tome.
I think it's a port, the export.
It was a
seaport.
trading post. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the part of Madras, yeah.
We heard a lecture when we had this Real Madras handkerchief seminar that the indigo, the same cloth, was imported into the Philippines in the 1700s to be re-exported to Spain and to Mexico. So it went from here to the Philippines to Mexico and Spain. which we didn't know there was past Indonesia, we didn't know there was much import. You mentioned from India, from this coast, Jayalasilan Stephen, who's a wonderful expert on trade on this coast. He's the one who wrote it. You mentioned the definition of craft as being at least 100 years old, traditional materials, handmade, simple tools. It sounded very much like the definition of craft in India. When did that come into Japan?
Well, it's around 19. Just the policy is the law is become on 19. I think it's 1970. I think
1970.
Yes.
70.
70. Yes.
But the award has been done from 60s, I think. But the award has been given to. But you have mentioned award have been given to craft person from 1960s, at least for 150 craft person.
Yes. That award by a ministry, other, the welfare, the labor.
We didn't know if it was 167 per year or 167 total. 150, back from 150 total? Only 150 people from 1967.
But the traditional craft is the other ministry, the Ministry of Economy, that decided the major policy as a law, the political law in 1970, I think. Around 1970. Sorry.
Akie, in the early part of your paper, when you were talking about Tokyo, you were using the term craft industry.
Yes.
Is that a different category than the living masters and so forth? What did you mean by craft industry?
Yes, that's a point, I think. That's a point which I am trying to explain on this paper, but I'm not good at it. But it's an agent of a cultural affair. The traditional living national treasure is a person, but that person makes like a real, real craft with a traditional way. So very similar. The result is very similar. The traditional craft product and traditional craft artworks is a very similar.
Okay.
But one is a more like fine art, but the other one is a more product in a the economical scene. So very similar, but the result it's product means more dishes and vases, not fine art kind of things. But and living national treasure makes as artworks. So I think a difference is that.
And is that? So, but where does the term industry come into this? I mean, I still don't understand. In the early part of the paper, you were referring to the craft industry.
Yeah.
Does that mean all crafts or?
This ministry is saying the area of the craft industry. The industry means the 30 workers who are 10 companies that does exist is a making area, the big area.
Okay.
But the national living treasure is only one person or a little group. So this is different.
Oh, I see. Performing as a whole.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And thank you for
I have one question.
giving such a nice paper.
Thank you very much.
One more question and then we'll
Okay,
stop.
all right.
I have seen in modern Japan
Yeah.
advertisements of various industrial projects all have one thing in common.
Yeah.
There's a small little animal in a corner or a small little thing in another corner or somewhere, which is called the kawaii. the cuteness.
Kawaii.
The cuteness, and that is mediating. I had a PhD student from Tokyo, and she was giggling all the time. So I made giggling a topic of our discussion. I said,
Yes.
Giggling is mediating in the hierarchy between teacher and student. So that is the kawaii in the social relationship. Now, when I saw your slides, I was wondering, where is the kawaii in the design? And I could only find one reason, and I'm not sure whether that is right. That is 48 browns and 100 grays.
Yes, it is.
Is the kawaii located there?
I think it's kawaii is like yeah. This both sides very cute. I think so. Big tree and the image of the big nature that composed in a small area. So it means small and nice and kawaii. Kind of yes, and this the bamboo lot is very tiny meanings includes the kawaii kind of things. This is my opinion.
Great, thank you very much for your paper. It gave us an insight into Japanese craft.